What if I told you that the sounds you hear every single day, the music you play in your car, the hum of your appliances, even the background noise in stores could be designed to make you sick, or worse, to control the way you feel? Let's be honest, most of us never think about sound beyond, "I like this song," or "that noise is annoying." But beneath the surface, there's a hidden layer of frequencies, inaudible to the conscious ear, that can twist your emotions, drain your energy, and in some cases, physically damage your body. Some call it the brown note, others call it infrasound warfare, but a growing number of researchers believe it's something even darker: emotional programming, frequencies used to keep you docile, depressed, and disconnected. This isn't science fiction, this is happening. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why some of the world's most powerful institutions are obsessed with the science of sound and how it could be used against you without you ever realizing it. Stay with me. This story only gets more unsettling the deeper we go. Okay, let's start with the basics. Infrasound is any sound below about 20 Hz, so low you can't consciously hear it. But just because you can't hear it doesn't mean your body doesn't feel it. Infrasound can resonate inside your organs. It can make your eardrums vibrate in ways that trigger anxiety. It can cause nausea, disorientation, headaches, and even feelings of dread. One of the earliest scientific studies on infrasound was published by NASA in the 1960s. They discovered that astronauts exposed to low-frequency vibrations would experience confusion, extreme fatigue, and a loss of spatial awareness. But here's the thing, long before NASA was studying it, infrasound was being used as a weapon. Researchers with the French military developed infrasound devices specifically designed to disperse crowds without bullets or tear gas. They called it acoustic suppression, and it worked. When a crowd was exposed to sustained low-frequency waves, somewhere around 7 to 10 Hz, people started vomiting, their vision blurred, panic spread like wildfire. Later in the 1970s, the US military reportedly experimented with similar devices during the Cold War. The concept was simple: if you could induce fear and sickness in an enemy without firing a shot, you'd have the ultimate non-lethal weapon. And get this, most of those files are still classified. But whistleblowers have confirmed that sound-based weapons were tested on animals, volunteers, and potentially unwitting civilians. Even today, there are patents publicly available that outline technologies designed to deliver infrasound over large areas. There is an actual patent that describes a device that emits frequencies causing disorientation and behavioral compliance. That's not a conspiracy theory, that's a matter of public record. I know what you're thinking, if this is real, wouldn't we notice? But that's the point. Infrasound isn't something you hear, it's something you feel. Take for example, the hum. Around the world in places like Taos, New Mexico, Bristol, England, Windsor, Canada, people report a low-frequency humming noise that never stops. It's been described as a diesel engine idling outside your house. For some, it's a mild annoyance. For others, it's a living nightmare, causing insomnia, headaches. Scientists have measured the frequency of the hum in some regions and found it hovers between 30 and 80 Hz. Still technically below the threshold of normal hearing, but no one can agree where it comes from. Industrial fans, military installations, subterranean experiment, we don't know. What we do know is that the hum is real and it's been studied for decades. And for the people who hear it, life is never the same. Then there's the so-called brown note, the infamous frequency rumored to cause involuntary loss of bowel control, or poop in your pants. This concept became popular after a 2004 episode of Mythbusters tried and failed to replicate it. But here's what they don't tell you. Just because one TV show couldn't recreate the effect in a controlled environment doesn't mean infrasound can't cause extreme physical response. In fact, declassified NATO documents discuss subsonic frequency weapons capable of triggering dizziness, nausea, and uncontrolled muscle contractions. Basically, you have no control over the movements of your body. Whether the brown note itself exists in exactly the way pop culture describes it is debatable, but the broader concept that sound can override your body's functions isn't. Here's where things get even more sinister. In 2017, the rapper XXXTentacion got on Instagram Live and said something that shook a lot of people. He claimed that the mainstream music industry was filled with songs tuned to specific frequencies designed to manipulate your emotions and lower your vibration. His exact words were, "There are certain frequencies that can lower your serotonin levels, can make you feel like shit." But he wasn't even the first to say this. But he was one of the only artists with a massive platform who was willing to call it out directly. He went on to explain that he deliberately embedded higher frequencies, 396 Hz, 528 Hz, into his music because he believed they had healing properties. When he was asked why mainstream songs were tuned differently, he said, "It's an agenda to keep you in a place where you're easier to control. Think about that, really." The idea that the songs you're hearing every day aren't just entertainment, but subtle tools for emotional suppression. I mean, that sounds crazy, but let's look at all the facts. Most modern music, everything from pop to rock to rap, is tuned to 440 Hz. It seems arbitrary, but a growing group of researchers and musicians argued that 440 Hz was chosen specifically because it's slightly dissonant to the human body's natural resonance. Historically, instruments were tuned to 432 Hz, which many claim is more harmonious, calming, and resonant with nature. According to this theory, switching to 440 Hz was no accident. In 1939, a conference organized by the International Standards Organization set 440 Hz as the standard tuning pitch. But there's evidence, though debated, that the push to adopt 440 Hz had backing from influential media and military figures. I wonder why. Some researchers point to Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels as an early proponent of standardizing 440 Hz, allegedly because it made people more agitated and easier to influence. There's no definitive proof Goebbels personally mandated this, but what we do know is that the shift to 440 Hz happened quickly, and it happened globally. And to this day, almost all popular music is tuned to this frequency. Coincidence? Or was that the first step in an era of sonic manipulation? Sound itself isn't neutral. Every frequency affects your body and mind in measurable ways. For example, 528 Hz has been studied for its ability to stimulate DNA repair and promote relaxation. 396 Hz is said to help release fear and guilt. Low frequency infrasound under 20 Hz can trigger anxiety and discomfort. Even higher frequencies above 10,000 Hz can induce feelings of awe or alertness. Sound therapy is an ancient practice. Cultures around the world have used chanting, drumming, and overtone singing to alter consciousness for thousands of years. So the idea that music could be weaponized, turned against you, isn't far-fetched. It's the logical extension of a science we've only begun to understand. A UK couple began hearing a low-frequency hum in their home. It caused nausea, headaches, and depression. After months of investigation, they discovered a nearby industrial facility emitting subsonic waves. When the plant temporarily shut down, the symptoms disappeared. Then there's the case of the Windsor hum in Canada, so pervasive that the government launched an official study. Residents described a constant vibration in their bodies, like a deep pressure in their skull. Sound engineers measured low-frequency emissions but could never pinpoint the exact source. It was as if the sound itself was coming from nowhere. So let's return to the music industry. If certain frequencies can make you anxious and others can make you calm, what happens when the biggest media companies in the world choose which frequencies you hear? How many of your feelings are your own, actually? Is it possible that an entire generation has been emotionally programmed by songs specifically engineered to keep them in a low vibrational state? XXXTentacion believes so. And whether you agree with him or not, it's worth asking why no major label has ever seriously investigated this. Maybe they don't want to know, or maybe they already do. This isn't just a fringe theory anymore. Sound researchers, independent musicians, and even some neuroscientists have started publishing papers on the measurable impact of frequency on mood and behavior. Meanwhile, the military continues to develop acoustic weapons. Get this, the consumer tech industry is experimenting with ultrasonic beacons, inaudible signals that can track your location and behavior. In the noise of modern life, the signals we can't hear may be the most dangerous of all. So what can we do about this? First, become aware. Start paying attention to how you feel after listening to certain songs or spending time in certain places. Also experiment with 432 Hz and 528 Hz. Notice the difference in your mood and focus. Second, protect your space. White noise machines can sometimes mask infrasound. Soundproofing materials can dampen low frequencies. And third, question everything. If music can heal, it can also harm. If sound can liberate, it can also control. As always, thank you for watching. Until next time, stay weird.